Hey guys, how you going? My name is Milo and I'm here at the Fishworks Sydney, where today we're going to be talking about one of our best-selling pond essentials. It's the Oase Filtral 3-in-1 pump and filter combo. This range is perfect for ponds under 1,000 litres, and it combines UV sterilisation, filtration, as well as a fountain pump that you can see here. So let's break all that down. This filter will do 4 crucial jobs. The first one is UV sterilisation, which it does through a UV globe sitting inside the pump here. That UV globe works to sterilise the pond of harmful pathogens and bacteria, but its main job is to help kill off suspended algae in the water, and it's that algae that will turn your water green in the sunlight. Its second big job is mechanical filtration, which it does through sponges sitting inside it, which filter out the solid debris such as fish poo, old fish food, that sort of thing, which would otherwise accumulate as sludge in the base of the pond. And then it also has your biological filtration. Biological media inside the filter, which I'll show you in a bit, houses beneficial bacteria, which works to break down the invisible pollutants in your water, such as harmful ammonia and nitrate. Both of which, when left unchecked, can turn your water toxic, leading to the death of your fish. So the biological media in here is super important to its function. Last but definitely not least, you've got the fountain head here. You can use it as the fountain that you see here. It has a few different heads for different styles. It's adjustable in terms of height, but you've also got the option of a hose running off the side, which you can lead off into your own water feature, waterfall, whatever you like. So this fountain attachment has multiple heads, which you can change just up the top here. They simply screw out like that. You've got 3 heads. There's the volcan, magma, and lava head, which I will show you somewhere over here what they look like. So that allows you to customize the aesthetic of fountain that you've got coming out here if you choose to use it. You can further adjust the strength and look of the fountain with the dial down here, which will let you adjust the amount of flow coming out the top. You can also use this nozzle if you like to run a secondary waterfall or prefabricated water feature by attaching a hose to the end here, and again using this dial to adjust how much you want coming out of the fountain and how much you want coming out of your secondary water feature. If you just want to run your own waterfall or water feature, all you have to do is take off this part here. You've got a little screw cap which can go onto the top of the flow adjuster, and then divert all of your flow so it's coming straight out here, straight up into your own waterfall or water feature like that. This little one I've got out here is the smallest in the range. It's the Filtral 1500. It only comes with a 13mm hose connection, but the 3000 and 6000 come with a step down adapter, so you can run a 13, 19 or 25mm hose off of either of these two. Same thing here goes if you don't want to run any water feature or fountain and you just want this pump for the filtration aspect. Just don't attach it to a hose. You can take off this part here or you can leave it on, it doesn't really matter, and then it'll simply be sucking water in through the cage, pushing it out here, and all of your circulation will be happening underneath the surface of the water. Another feature up in this area is the aerator that you see here. The smallest model, the 1500, which we were looking at before, doesn't have this feature, but the 3000 and the 6000 both do. By running this, you can add extra oxygen to the water, which is great for your fish and the pond ecosystem, especially on hot summer days when oxygen is quickly depleted. So if we go ahead and open this one up, we'll take a look at what's inside. Obviously, the first thing you have is your instruction manual. This has all of the info you need, as well as your product guarantee and the warranty. The pump has a 2-year warranty on it. You have here all of your spare parts and your fountain attachments, as well as the diverter that we were looking at earlier, but obviously a lot bigger on this model. I'm showing you the 3000, you've also got the 6000. And then of course you've got the pump itself. So in terms of setup, this system is super easy. It's pretty much just plug and play. The only thing you're gonna have to do is attach your fountain if you want to. First thing you need is your flow adjuster, which will screw on just like this. And then from there, you need your main height adjustment piece and this blue screw that you see here. So you want to thread that on top like that, and then screw it into place like this. And what that does is it allows you to actually control the angle of your spout. From there, you're going to take your main fountain head and screw that onto the top, just like that. And if you did want to change the head that you have up the top here, all you have to do is unscrew it. Super easy. Pick whichever one you want. This is my favorite that I like to use. And then you just screw that back in, straight like that, and you're good to go. Now, since we've got the 3000 here in front of us, I can actually show you how we run that aeration attachment here. So what you're going to need is this part here, which just screws onto this side nozzle. And then this one screws onto the side here. And then you're going to take your air hose, which is also included, attach one end to here, and then run the other end up. You've got these sort of bits on the side of the fountain head, which you can use to hold it. And you just want to make sure that this little tip is up above the water. You don't want any water to be able to suck in here. It only wants to suck in air, and then that's going to create your oxygenation effect in the water. If you do run that aerator, then you won't be able to attach that pump up to a separate water feature. But if you don't, you can, and I'll show you how to do that quickly now. So for that, all you're going to need are these two parts here. So simply slide this one over the top of that reducer, screw it onto the front here, and then you've got a 13, 19, and 25 mil hose adaptation for whatever feature you need to run. Same thing goes, you can adjust the flow using the dials here, or you can take this part off and run all of your flow straight into that secondary waterfall or water feature that you have. So we can go ahead and open this up now, and I'll give you a look at what's going on inside. To open it, you've just got these 4 clips, 1, 2, 3, 4. And once you've undone those, just take the lid off like that, put it to the side, and we can access the internal mechanisms here. So the first thing you'll see is we've got a blue sponge and a red sponge. These are sponges of different densities. Obviously, this one's quite coarse and this one's quite fine. These are going to be doing the mechanical filtration that we've talked about earlier. And then hidden underneath those, we have our biological filtration media. For that, we have a bag of ceramic media that you'll see here. So this is the pump here, and screwed onto it on this side is the housing for the UV globe. This globe has a lifespan of about 12 months before it loses efficacy, which brings us on to maintenance. So maintenance on these systems is pretty easy once you know what needs to be done. These sponges are going to be collecting the bulk of your sludge and debris, so they're going to need the most attention. We recommend taking these out and giving them a clean every 1 to 3 months, depending on the pond. Obviously, ponds with lots of fish are going to require more regular cleaning. To clean the sponges, all you need to do is open up this pump, take the sponges out, and give them a good squeeze in a bucket of pond water. We recommend using a bucket of pond water as opposed to just running them under the tap, because much like the ceramic media down here, these sponges have beneficial bacteria in them as well that we want to keep. So the chlorine in your tap water will kill that bacteria, so it's best to use pond water to squeeze out the bulk of that gunk instead. Once you've squeezed them out a few times, you can simply put them back in, replace the lid, and you're good to go. If you're cleaning the sponges regularly, they will last for ages. But after a couple years, if they start to lose their shape, you can really easily buy replacements as needed. So this is your UV housing, and like I mentioned before, the globe in here has a lifespan of about 12 months. So once a year, you're going to have to open up this part and replace the globe. I'll show you how to do that right now. First things first, you're going to have to unscrew the pump. And once that's done, you can actually take both of them out. It's easiest just to take them out completely from the housing so that it doesn't get in your way. I like to put that to the side, and then we can pay closer attention to this. To open it up, you see that we've got a little lock and unlock symbol here. So simply twist it to the unlock position, and then you should be able to open it up pretty easy from there. And I should have mentioned this before, make sure that you turn everything off at the power outlet before undertaking any maintenance. Not only will running this pump out of the water cause damage to it, but the UV globe here is actually really damaging to our naked eye. So if this UV globe is switched on while it's not in the housing, it's really not great for your eyes. So just make sure that everything is switched off prior to undertaking any of this maintenance work. So from there, you can obviously see that we've got the UV globe sitting in there, and that's sitting inside this quartz sleeve. And that's because obviously the globe itself and the electrics in there, they're not waterproof. So it's this quartz sleeve and the screw here, which is what actually keeps it watertight and stops you from blowing the system. So in order to open that up, you're going to need just a normal Phillips head screwdriver. You've got a little screw here, which you'll need to undo. I think I've got the worst tiny little screwdriver possible for this job. And once you've got that little screw out, you'll be able to twist this part, unscrew it, and then you can take out that quartz sleeve there, which has an absolutely lovely sound. You will then be able to take out the globe itself. It's best not to touch these globes with our hands because the oils on them will get onto the glass and stop them from working as well. So if you can use a cloth or even just pick it up from these metal pieces, then that's fine. If you were to replace the globe, you just take off this part and this part, grab your new globe, stick them onto the new one, and then you can click that back in place. Grab your quartz sleeve, which has an O-ring on the outside here. The O-ring will come greased, but over time that grease may wear off. So if you notice that the O-ring has gone quite brittle or it's not sealing as well in the unit, just stick some fresh grease on the outside there. You can buy replacement O-rings that come pre-greased as well, but often just sticking your own grease on the existing O-ring will do the same thing. And then we'll grab our screw piece back on, stick that down there. What I really like about replacing the UV globes on these units is that they don't leave it up to you how tight to screw it. It gets to a point and then it won't let you screw it any further. And then you use this little screw. It should line up perfectly with where it stopped you. Screw that back in place. So there's no question about how tight you have to go in order to get the watertight seal. It'll tell you when to stop, which is really nice. So there you go. Then you've got a fresh, newly replaced UV globe. Like I said, you want to be doing that once every 12 months or so. From there, all you got to do is fit that together, put it back in the lock position so it's not going anywhere. And then we can screw our pump back on and fit it back into the main housing. So like I mentioned, this is the 3000 that we're taking a look at right now. This one takes a 9-watt UV globe. The 1500, the size down, takes a 5-watt UV globe, and then the size up, the 6000, that one will take an 11-watt UV globe. Now if we put all of that back together, I'll just show you one more thing in reference to the UV light. You'll see that you have a little indicator up here. That indicator light will shine blue when the UV light is switched on. Keep in mind that even though I say the UV globe has a 12-month lifespan and it won't be working to clarify your water after that point, you'll probably still notice that this indicator light is turned on, and that's because the globe itself is probably still shining. It's just that the wavelengths have depleted to a point where it's not actually doing its job anymore. At that point, it's just a light switched on inside the pump. So this indicator light is best to be used as a sign of whether the electrics of the light is actually working, whether it's actually switched on, but don't use it as an indicator of when you have to replace the globe because it will continue shining for months after that globe has become ineffective at its job. Most parts within the filter here are fully replaceable and the whole unit comes with a 2-year warranty. So if you have a small to medium pond that's not too densely stocked, the Filtral range is one of our go-to solutions here in the store. We only promote products that we do actually like and trust. We've seen these working on a bunch of ponds throughout Sydney and we've installed quite a few ourselves, and they really are very good at doing what they're designed to do. You can find this full range for sale as well as more information on them down in the description below. Or if you're ever in the area, swing by the shop. We're always happy to have a chat. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.